Hello everyone, this is T-Bird Bricks with another video. I'm excited to unveil episode 3 of my brand new mock series, Iron Man Havoc at the Hall of Armors. If you want to see all the progress I made in the previous episodes, basically everything that you see here, be it the build techniques and everything I did to create all of this, be sure to click the link in the description below. It'll take you right to the playlist for this entire series, so you can watch episodes 1 and 2 on how I built everything that you see here. So today's episode is going to be focused on the characters, being the minifigures that'll be throughout the build, both the heroes and the villains. Just to recap the story, again, Tony Stark's working in his lab, and then Whiplash leads an army of villains into the armory, striking fear into everything, and Tony and War Machine and a bunch of armor drones are going to band together and fight off the villains and send them packing. So I'm going to introduce basically the heroes and then the villains, and then start incorporating them into the mock, and again, really bring this thing to life. You'll notice from kind of a difference from previous episodes, usually I had armors and minifigures standing in the armory right here, but now I have it empty. I'm basically going to put the stars of the show in that armory, basically the armor's coming out, getting ready to fight, and yeah, that's basically the intro, so let's start introducing the characters. So kicking things off, we have the heroes of the build. Nice little roll call here of everybody. Big cast and crew so far. We got Tony Stark, the Mark III, the Mark I, the Mark II, Mark 50, Mark 41, the Mark V, as well as the scuba armor and the infiltrator armor, and then War Machine as well. That's going to be Rhodey right there. Yeah, this is a nice collection of figs that I have. This is kind of an accumulation of different sets over the years, as well as the different Hall of Armor Lego sets that they put out. So I'm basically going to be incorporating all of these guys into the build at different degrees. Again, some of these will be controlled by Tony and Rhodey, and other of these are basically going to be remote controlled armors, i.e. the House Party Protocol from Iron Man 3. Next up, we also have Dumb E. He's going to be fighting off some villains as well. Kind of in a more comedic way. You have his little fire extinguisher here. He's going to be hosing some bad guys down, kind of. I think he'll be a nice little addition to the build. And then kind of making room here, we have Igor, Big Bad Igor. I said this in my review of the Hall of Armor set from 2018. Definitely be sure to click the link below and check out that video too. I was just praising this brick-built Igor 9 Ways to Sunday. This is a great mech right here. It basically opens up and you can put an armor inside, really cool. I'm not going to be doing that for this build because I kind of need Igor basically as a remote-controlled combatant in the build, but he's a welcome addition to this mock that I'm putting together, so really great. So that's the heroes. Now let's move on to the villains. Next up, let's bring out the bad guys here. Starting off, we have the ringleader himself, Whiplash, basically leading the villains into the attack. I think this figure is spectacular. Again, just kind of going to put a spotlight on him because he just came out in 2022. He looks great. The leg printing, the body printing, the little ponytail and the facial expression. This is actually a double-sided head too. You're not really going to see it because I'm going to have his helmet on during the fight in the mock, but he just looks incredible. I definitely love this figure. I got him off Bricklink for a pretty good deal, and he just, oh yeah, back printing too. Yeah, he just looks fantastic, and a great candidate to lead the assault on the armory for sure. And bringing with him, he has some AIM agents here. I'm going to have them kind of scattered throughout the build, fighting off heroes or armors. One's going to get hosed down by Dummy. One's going to get knocked out. They'll be all throughout the mock. Right here you have the Super Adaptoid, kind of an old Avengers villain from like the 60s and 70s. He's pretty cool. He can like kind of latch on and imitate different powers or technology or what have you to kind of enhance himself. I'm going to add that into the mock as well. He's kind of a cool guy. And then right here is the Melter. That's right, the Melter.
Who?
Some people might be saying, who in the heck is the Melter? So the Melter is another old school Iron Man villain. He debuted in the 60s, kind of the silver age of comic books. He's actually pretty, let me kind of bring him up here in spotlight. Yeah, he's got back printing, body printing. This is actually a custom figure I got off of Etsy. I thought he looks really comic accurate. He looks fantastic. I'm gonna make a Melter gun for him, but I'm kind of getting a little ahead of myself. So the Melter is an old school Iron Man villain. And basically he melts things. He has a superheated gun. He could actually melt through certain versions of Iron Man's armor, kind of the more classic versions. And he actually, gave him a run for his money back in the comics in the 60s. And I thought he was kind of a cool welcome addition to this team of villains to assault. And then last but not least, we also have the Beetle. Kind of another old school villain. He would sometimes attack Iron Man, mostly attack Spider-Man at different capacities. But I thought this was a great figure. I love his little, molded wings there. Love his gun. Love his head printing. I thought he was a welcome addition to this team, this little strike force. So that's the villains. Oh, and then also forgot to mention again, I said this in part 1, there will be a brick-built Crimson Dynamo, who's another Iron Man villain, as well as a brick-built Hulkbuster, but I'm saving those two for a separate video, just to kind of go through the build techniques on how I brought those two guys to life. So now, without further ado, let's start giving these guys their weapons and details and everything, and then add them to the mock. So for setting up all the minifigures, I decided to work my way from back to front, and then saving the center stage being the gantry battle for the end of the build. So starting us off, we have the armory itself. I have a couple of the remote controlled armors powering up and getting ready for fighting. Next up, I added the aerial component of our battle with the Super Adaptoid. And again, he's capable of mimicking powers. So what I have here is, these are actually the, I guess you'd call them the wings or the jetpack portion of the Mark 50, I think was the armor. So kind of the story behind that is the Super Adaptoid fought and took that armor's kind of abilities, and now he has flight capabilities, and he's fighting Igor, who's being remote controlled. And I think this scene in particular looks pretty good. I think it's really cool how I've designed this so well that it can actually support Igor's weight standing on top of this right here, getting ready to punch down the Super Adaptoid. I think that's pretty nice. Taking the fight back down to the armory level, we have a couple different things going on. So first off, I have the Mark 1 being remote controlled here, beating down an AIM agent. And then I have the Melter basically, doing what he does best and melting an armor. This is the Mark II falling victim to his microwave ray gun here. I basically designed this gun myself, just kind of added some random pieces I found to a gun piece. I think it looks pretty nice. And then you have some greebling down there, basically just kind of some random silver and light bluish gray pieces to kind of mimic the leftovers of this poor armor's legs. Next up is Dumb E, basically spraying down an AIM agent with his fire extinguisher. Basically, I just kind of did some random pieces here along with some really cool cloud pieces I found to imitate the extinguisher foam that's enveloping this AIM agent. So he picked the wrong drone to fight, that's for sure. Next part of the mock is War Machine fighting Beetle and another AIM agent. I decided to give this AIM agent some aerial superiority so he can match up with the Beetle here. I made him a little drone jetpack using like these little inner tube pieces, basically kind of like a drone backpack for him so he could fly. Not that it's doing him any good because War Machine's blowing them both up. I have the wiring here giving a little fire effect, as well as right here, missiles being launched. So basically, I love these rocket launchers on this minifigure. I think it's really great. So I added an inverted bracket for these studs to come off, and I have this rock piece with the fins, kind of creating the effect of the missile being launched. And there's the missile right there hitting both the villains, which I think is pretty cool. And last but certainly not least, we have center stage where Iron Man is fighting Whiplash. Again, like I said earlier, Whiplash has his helmet on. I also made these kind of little whips basically using posing stands and then open studs to basically connect everything together with these kind of bludgeons for the ends to make him a little more dangerous. And then Tony here is being armored up, so you have the little the gantry here and everything, getting ready to put on his helmet right there. And then the unibeam is coming right out because he's just getting ready for action and trying to blast Whiplash away. So overall, I think each individual portion of the stage, as it were, is looking really nice. And now I want to see how everything looks with the lights on, because I now have all the lights connected into something, whether it's the modules or War Machine over here, Iron Man's unibeam over there. So everything should be live and connected. So I want to see how all the lighting looks now. Okay, so here is the entire build from kind of a wider angle here. Pay no attention to the power strip on the left. This is what I use to actually light up the lights. I'm really more used to having space in the back, but that's okay. We'll work with what we have for now. So yeah, let's just kind of take everything in here and then kind of go each piece at once. I think this looks really great. I definitely love, again, the lights definitely bring things to life here. So the explosions and firepower from War Machine to the unibeam coming off of Iron Man knocking out Whiplash. You have the lights of each module going on over there still. This is just fantastic. I really love what I have going on here. Yeah, Igor up top on the top of the armory fighting. That just looks really great, fighting the super adaptoid. Yeah, this just looks really good. I'm really looking forward to adding on to this. So again, next week is when we put in the brick-built Hulkbuster and Crimson Dynamo. I've been hyping that up for a while, so it'll definitely be worth the wait next week. Don't worry about that. But anyway, yeah, this is my build so far after week 3. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Let me know what's your, I guess, your favorite part, what's your least favorite part, what you like, don't like. Again, any and all criticism, positive and negative, as long as it's constructive, is more than welcome. I'd love to hear from you. But anyway, that's all I have for this week. Yeah, coming down to the wire here, guys. So let me know what you guys think. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful week.